Hello everybody and welcome to the third North American qualifier in the Alienware Awesome Cup 2. We are so ready, we got a bunch of matches for you while you wait for 2.10. So just right into it, what we got.
Well, as you said before, we're back for the third North American qualifier in the Alienware Awesome Cup 2, and we've got some awesome matches for you today. A great finals and some great matches all together. Without further ado, let's get into our first match. That's going to be PK versus Nautorious Nauts, or Nautorious Nauts versus PK. Going into the bans and picks for this maps, for Ribbit 4 actually, it is going to be Nautorious Nauts rocking the Nibs, Clunk, and Scoop. Ooh. On the other hand, we have PK, Painkiller. They're going to be rocking the Penny, the Frog, and the Sentry. Now on Ribbit, Sentry is so powerful. He's got that extremely powerful zoning AA, the Starburst. He can easily set up a lot of traps. Then again, we have that Scoop on the other hand who can go up that mid, tank all of them, land a hammer down, and prevent anybody from coming up there. Then again, we also have two agile characters on Painkiller, being the Frog and Penny, being able to navigate around this map so quickly compared to the Clunk on Nautorious Nauts.
Clunk is fast as everything. He's a devil on this map due to the bouncer. He's gonna be an absolute fireworks show. It's gonna be great.
Absolutely.
You wanna
then
get to
on
it?
the other hand, we do, but I do want to point out the Nibs. The Nibs on Ribbit 4. You can get up that jumper and immediately hit that fire, but as you said, let's get straight to it. Give us a countdown for our first match of the day.
You got it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, we are going to be looking at the first picks here in just a second. We're going to be looking at base abilities and boots for Clunk and base abilities for everyone else. So a very, very standard pick for their game, really, both teams.
Really just getting into it in that midsection right now. Nib's getting a quote out into that black hole a little bit, able to teleport out, but Bet's going to be able to pick up Ops Raffo off the bat right there. It's a kill within the first 40 seconds of the match, but they're still doing it. Kinjim's in a little bit of trouble, and he's going to get picked up by Wake right now, standing right next to the turret, as we have 2 kills in within a minute of this game.
Oh, I'm liking this already. We have a teleport beacon in the mid, so I'm just looking for Sentry, and there he goes, right into the mid. That's good. You know, both teams have they have a really good opportunity to actually get mid and get into mid. They can both keep it and they can both flush it, so that's really, really nice. We're going to see a lot of switches in this match, I believe.
Yep, you look at the Sentry there who can easily, the walking tank as we call him, he's going to set up that teleport in mid that's going to act as a ward. So he'll be able to see in that bush this whole time with his teleport beacon in there, and if somebody's in mid, they can just navigate through there, allow those two really agile characters to get in there. Well, that Sentry teleports in, and a nice explode coming out of Bats is actually going to hit the Frog there. He's going to take a lot of damage. The safety black hole is going to push back Nautorious Nauts a little bit and allow them to reset and retake control of mid.
Yeah, really keeping them out there. Nib's already picking for that DOT damage, so really just want a stack of that high damage. If you don't know, every DOT tick is going to apply every time it hits, so you get a bunch of damage for it, not just the end DOT.
It's a very powerful early game upgrade. We've seen it done a lot. And then we saw that Sentry again teleporting into mid, but not going to make anything of it, as Panda is going to be right there to kind of thwart them off. Kinjim and the explode now coming up. That's going to be a nice explode hitting that Sentry up there, and they're going to be forced to push back now. Painkiller has kind of given up that mid control in effort to regroup themselves and force a play to happen in that midsection. But as you were saying before, that mid control on this map, both teams have a very strong presence in there. You can have that Sentry get in there. You can also have that Clunk just walk in there and not be afraid of anything. Because even if he does go down, he's going to land that explode if everybody's bunched up.
Yeah, but you're going to have a problem with Clunk because Clunk can go in, but with the black hole, he's not going to be able to get out. And when you add Amplify and you add a dash, you're not going to have much HP left. So it's really a, do I want to go in or do I want to make sure I have my team with me?
Both teams have very strong comps, though, and that's where it kind of plays off. And we see Kinjim picking up Mr. Nakata there, and Panda's going to be taking a lot of damage, just narrowly escapes the black hole up there, throws the hammer, and is able to escape on the bottom as Kinjim is now hunting down Rada, and Rafa, is going to be taken by Kinjim there with the Nibs AA.
Alright, we're looking at 3-1 in 3 minutes and 10 seconds in. No correlation to those numbers whatsoever, but I just want to point it out. We are looking at a range upgrade for Scoop, Twisted Lance, and a Piggy Bank as well. So we're really looking at that, you know, we're going to test the waters and then we're going to piggy to get the snowball going. I think that's what's going on right now.
And Kinjim is going to feed Rafa a huge black hole, but Rafa is going to actually miss the black hole, and he's going to be forced to get out of that air and retreat and grab some HP at this point. Betts is kind of hanging out in that midsection. Penn is going to take a pulse up top. And Betts is coming up with that explode right there, hitting Nakata, forcing him out of that midsection. And on bottom, we saw Wake, who had to kind of get out very quickly, as a penny with no charges and a half bar of HP is a very easy target.
Oh, yes. Something I want to point out there is Bet's already going for the explode damage, and you can see that's really working out for him. He is going to get so much damage done. But then
he's actually going to be picked up by Mr. Nakata on the turret, and Rafa's going to take a lot of damage waiting for that explode to go off. Not explode, the black hole, excuse me. Kinjin probably could have picked up Rafa there.
Oh, that was a full damage black hole and a frog next to it. I think he did the right thing by not dashing into it or teleporting into it.
But the teleport was there after the black hole exploded.
That's true.
And a lot of damage very quickly being dealt, and Rafa's going to pick up Kinjim in that midsection as the suicide fire deals a lot of damage.
There's a nice counterplay though. It was really good, you know. That was Nips was in her moment, but just hadn't got the damage needed to get the kill, and they quickly noticed that, and then they went in and they got the kill.
Betts is being hunted down now by Wake and Rafa, and Nakata's going to pick up Betts, and Betts is going to pick up Wake in return, and Rafa's going to stay alive barely with 1 HP right here, forced to teleport back again, and he decides to stay and pick up some of that mid-health and continue the battle as Nips picks up the second stage of damage on her Fire Breath.
Oh, that's going to hurt a lot. That's really going to hurt. Just look at it, like, oh my gosh. That's a lot of damage, and we're still in the early phases of the game, so people are not going to have a lot of HP. That is absolutely going to melt, and they have the snare both on Clunk and on Scoop, so getting out of the Nips fire is going to be a problem.
And at this point, Betts is going to be looking for that explode, and he is going to hit it on Wake. Wake is going to take a huge chunk of damage and force a retreat back into their creep section as the entirety of Nautorious Nauts is kind of retaking this mid-control section, fighting for it in that jungle area. Nakata in that mid-section going to pick up some health along with Wake, and we're going to see Sentry now start finishing off his AA, and a huge explode by Betts is going to miss as he is going to be amped for the explode, taking some extra damage on the missed explode there.
Oh man. So we're looking at I'd say fairly normal builds. I do want to point out that the entirety of Nautorious Nauts that they are piggying for the snowball, but it seems like the tides have turned a bit, and we're actually looking at a fairly even matchup now.
So I'm going to take a lot of damage actually right there. He's going to be forced to teleport back. But as you said before, that piggy bank, that early stage piggy bank, has kind of been nullified right now as we're seeing a very minimal solar difference at this point.
Only Sentry is a bit behind everyone else, but I think that's partly due to a lack of droid kills, but I am not entirely sure. Yeah, no, that's not even the case here.
He's playing Sentry a bit different from that I normally see. He's playing a very aggressive kind of hunter Sentry, as opposed to the zoning and droid clearing Sentry that we normally see. So that may be a reason why. And Betts is actually going to go for his explode right here and miss the explode. He's taking a lot of damage, and Rafa's going to be calling this right now. Wake is going to be calling it right now. Kinjim's taking a lot of damage. Rafa may be able to get picked up right now, and Rafa's going to get picked up by Panda on the bottom with the AA, and that is another kill coming out for Nautorious Nauts. 5-4 in favor of Nautorious Nauts now, and Nautorious Nauts does have control of mid. And let's see what they can make of this. I think they're going to be able to push through for a turret soon. One of these first turrets should be down soon.
I still think that they can keep it off. I mean, they have a pretty good defense, and they're guarding both lanes. And Sentry's back in. He has that teleport. The black hole is going to be really close, but not quite hidden up. Betts is super low as well.
And Kinjim's going to be taking a lot of damage again, able to get that teleport out. Rafa taking a lot of damage, and it seemed like Painkiller took a lot of damage in that fight compared to Nautorious Nauts, where it should have been the other way around in some situations. That black hole definitely should have hit for a lot more. It looked a lot more powerful than it actually was, though.
Alright, and Scoop now picking up the damage and the cooldown for his hammer, so we're going to be seeing a lot of poke coming out of that.
one huge thing that we see is the cooldown being such a hindrance for agile characters, being able to constantly lock them down for those engagement fights. And Wake is going to be taking a lot of damage here. Wake is going to be eating the explode, getting the snare bite off, but just manages to escape with a half a bar of health right now. Nakata and Rafa are going to be trying to duke it out in mid. Wake is not going to be allowed to take the HP as Rafa steals it from him. And we're just going back to this clearing game right now as Nautorious Nauts retakes control of that mid. And we see the zoning kind of coming out now. And it's not going to do an exponential amount of damage, but it does do a lot of damage. And a nice explode coming out. Rafa's going to be taking
the black hole.
And
Yes.
Rafa's going to get picked up, but the nice exchange coming out. Rafa knew he was going to go down, landed that huge black hole, and was able to pick up Scoop in the process.
Right, Nibs is actually sitting on a lot of money, so I'd hope to see her go back real soon, and she is back now, picking up another stage of damage and range. So her fire is going to be really versatile now, and is actually maxed out already.
And a nice play up there, actually, by Nakata, being able to pick up bets right against the turret right there. A half HP Clunk against 3/4 HP Frog. 9 times out of 10, if you catch him off the cooldown with the explode, you're going to be able to actually get the kill, and that's exactly what Nakata did.
Yep, that's something you, like, in the equation of getting kills, your HP doesn't matter as long as you apply your damage.
That, and if you're able to catch your opponent off their cooldowns, that's a huge part of it. And a nice Nibs fire is going to be able to get Rafa down just enough so that the turret can take him out. And we're going to see Panda and Kinjim now chasing down Wake, but he's going to be able to escape on bottom. But Betts is going to be there for the explode and lands it.
And the fire hits as well, but the DOT is not going to be enough because there is an HP pack and it's just ready to heal Wake up. So they should be we should be seeing some push here on the Nautorious Nauts here.
Yep, and they're just going to push towards that top turret, getting that single lane push, getting that turret down to a little bit more than half right now, but Wake and Nakata are right there for it, going to be able to kind of thwart off that push, and that is going to be a super droid coming in up top as PK took that first turret at about the 10-minute mark of the game, and we've now entered the midsection of the game where builds are kind of getting put into place right now. We're seeing this type of play that we know of. Wake is going to be taking a lot of damage. Wake is going to be picked up by Betts and Kinjim. The assist going to Kinjim on that one. Kill coming on to Betts. That nice fire up the up the jump pad right there. And the snare on Betts is going to secure that.
Yep. I think we did mention this, that the snares... Oh, and Betts
is going to get taken out by the droids.
Oh, that's a shame. You know, that happens sometimes. You go in, you almost hit your kill, and then the droids are just in the right place in the right time.
Kinjim actually teleporting into the black hole. Is going to get picked up by Nakata right out of it, though. And Nakata is going to be taking a lot of damage from Panda right now, so he's going to be forced to retreat back into that midsection as Panda decides to get down into that bottom lane and prepare for the push. That top lane is going to have a small push right now as both members, Betts and Kinjim up top, have been taken out for Nautorious Nauts. So Panda's going to be forced to single lane defend right now by himself, doing a lot of damage, but Betts coming in with the explode, just narrowly missing the pickup on Rafa. Rafa's going to teleport into mid and retreat back as Nakata goes back to clearing, and Wake is going to go into that bottom turret section and get some damage on that turret.
Yeah, the all classic turret damage permanent. Yay. We say that so much. I don't think we need to say it. We just need to say turret damage.
At this point, yeah, and Wake is actually going to get snared and get a huge explode hit on him, but he's going to be able to get out with a half a bar of health right now. You see, if you're Nautorious Nauts right now, you're getting these retreats, and that in itself is a victory. You may not be able to pick up the kill, but you're forcing someone to get off that lane and allow yourself a few extra seconds, whether it be to get the push, whether it be to attack someone else. You have that explode, and the explode coming again from Betts is going to be able to hit Rafa again, and a huge black hole is going to take Kinjim down to about 3.5 bars right now, as he's going to be forced to teleport back and regain some HP. Betts is going to be opting for the regen bite at this point, and just be able to thwart the elements. And right now we're going to see Betts getting attacked, and he's going to be able to get out up on top. Panda clearing that bottom lane, and Kinjim is back in lane right now.
Alright, so Nibs got the second stage of DOT now, so now not only her build is finished, she is also maxed out. In terms of fire.
Maxed out Nibs DOT with just fire. Just a maxed out fire in general is so powerful, and Betts is going to be taking a lot of damage here, but just look at that health bar on Clunk. Look at how easily he's able to sponge the hits, and look at his regen. He's able to get back, and he's go for the explode again, just narrowly missing Nakata. And Kinjim's going to be taking a lot of damage right now. Wake is going to be picking up Kinjim, and that is going to be another kill in favor
I'm
of
not quite sure if
Painkiller.
you saw Bet's HP though. Bet's HP was, oh, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was low. It was really, really, really low, dangerously low.
And we're going to see the second turret come down now in favor of Painkiller, as Rafa's going to be teleporting back as they take that second turret, picking up some upgrades. He's rocking 160 soul. That's maybe enough for one stage of HP right now, and I think that's what he needs to be building, and exactly, he does go for that HP. HP is a huge factor once we reach into this mid-game and to the later portions of the mid-game, reaching into that early game. You need to make sure that you have enough HP to withstand the burst and continue brawling. And
Yeah,
Bet's coming out with the explode again. He's going to hit Nakata. Nakata's taking a lot of damage, but Rafa's going to land a nice black hole into that midsection. Panda's going to be brought down to about half health. Kinjin, Betts, and Panda both all in mid, actually, at this point, getting ready for the brunt end of things. A missed pulse is going to allow them to remain in that midsection.
Oh yeah, Frog just spent 500 solar on, I believe, some boombox, some shield, and some pills. So we should be seeing a bump in Frog's performance now.
You know, slight advantage going to Painkiller at this point for having those first two turrets down, but that top turret can come down at any point in a single push for Nautorious Nauts. But that bottom turret, on the other hand, could also come down in a single push. So we do have a small advantage going to PK at this point in the game.
Yeah, we do, and it's important to note that you actually get a lot of solar for destroying turrets.
And a huge explode's going to come out. The
Oh,
explode's
the
going to
double
pick up
kill.
a double kill. Rafa and Nakata going to get picked up by Betts right now. And this is what we're talking about. They need to really focus on a single lane right now. If they can take one turret down and force Waka to retreat back, they can go for that second turret. But it seems like they're actually going to go for this bottom turret as they realize Waka's going to be up there. Panda should stay in that midsection just in case of that turn. And Wake, is going to be able to get down there right now. Why did I say Waka?
I don't know. You had a Pac-Man flashback. Waka waka.
I did.
Waka. Anyway, I think that's actually a very impressive defend going on here, and they should be farming the turret right now. That there's no reason to defend when you can grab the solar yourself. That's actually something I am slightly infuriated about when people do. Leave your turret with that amount of HP. That is just not a good idea. Just let the droid get it, and you take the solar. You get 50 solar that the enemy doesn't get.
And that's for taking your own turret, basically.
Yep.
So you're basically getting extra solar for your turret coming down. It's a consolation prize, if you will.
Yep. And it's just so important because that's a lot. If you think about it, you get for a kill, you get 40 plus the 30 team wide. That's almost a kill you get just for losing a turret.
So at any point in time, Nautorious Nauts can just proceed into that top lane and take that top turret, which they should be looking to do at this point. Betts is going to come up with a nice explode again. It's going to hit all three members of Team Painkiller, and Kinjim is going to be able to pick up Nakata at this point. Rafa's going to be very low on HP right now. Kinjim is also very low on HP, and we should see a push coming out. Scoop actually got picked up in the midst of that. I didn't catch that, but I'm just noticing it now. That
there we go. Betts gets
did get picked up.
Oh, that's a nice black hole teleporting and getting out.
But he is going to be able to just retain a huge amount of HP. His regen bite, if he stacks them, which he more or less is going to be doing at this point, is going to allow him to stay on lane for much longer than anybody else, except the Scoop. Because the Scoop does have that small amount of regain HP, and that explode's going to come out. Not going to be enough to pick up Rafa on bottom due to his Black Hole Sun shield coming up and preventing the kill. But Betts is just being very aggressive with his clunk, and it is working out to his advantage at this point. I definitely think
we've seen so many low escapes this match, though. Just to cut you off, we've just seen so many low escapes. Everyone had like less than 1 HP bar, and then they just got to safety every time.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of it happen earlier, and we're just seeing it continue to happen. Betts opting for the fragmented shells right now, able to deal AoE damage with his explode salvo should be really important right now as he's max status build. Rafa's going to be taking a lot of damage, and Nakata's going to actually nullify the explode. A nicely timed dash is going to allow him to survive that.
Oh, that is one of those moments you just think, "Ah!" when the frog does that, because it's not often it happens, but when it happens, you're just so full of rage, and that's just when a good frog does it. You're just speechless because I don't even know.
I don't like the invincibility on Frog.
Shh, No personal opinion.
It upsets me sometimes.
Yes,
Especially against the Clunk. When I used to play a Clunk and the frogs would just dash the explode, I'd just get so angry. I'd be like, ah, I had it. And Betts is going to be taking a lot of damage right now. Kinjim going to be caught out and is able to escape the black hole with a nicely timed teleport. And Panda is going to be able to pick up Rafa right now as he's going to be taking a lot of damage from that frog. And Nakata's going to be taken down as well. Panda picking up the double kill right now. And Kinjim looking for the wipe, but is unable to land all of his DOT ticks. And Wake is going to be able to escape and heal up right now. And we've kind of seen the tables turn at this point. Nautorious Nauts has retaken those 2 turrets, and we're basically at an even game right now, besides that top turret for Nautorious Nauts being on the minimap as damage.
Bottom. The push on bottom is absolutely real.
We see that salvo pack coming out right now for Betts, and it is going to be doing wonders on this bottom turn. Wake is actually going to be taken out by the Nibs no-clip fire going through that turret.
I think we have a train going here. We might very well have a train going here.
This is absolutely a train. That's a super droid. That's a Clunk with salvo. That is the entirety of Nautorious Nauts taking on that bottom turret. And Betts is going to be the first one in after that turret, being able to deal a lot of damage. And Rafa's going to be taking a lot of damage. Nakata's taking a lot of damage. And
no.
Take down Rafa.
Oh, wow. Oh, you got to watch out. Oh,
this is a lot of damage on this core.
I don't think
Nakata. That's a single frog against a scoop, against a Nif.
Frog against the world.
And explode. And that is going to be the first game. Congratulations to Nautorious Nauts turning that game around. And we were seemingly even up until the point where Nautorious Nauts kind of pushed into that midsection and was able to pick up those 2 turrets from there. The second turret on the bottom portion of the map was shortly to follow, as the entirety of Nautorious Nauts was able to push with that super droid and able to pick up that bottom turret and just progress. And as you said before, that was a train. There was no stop. There were no brakes on that train.
No brakes.
Last stop, victory.
Yes.
But
you
know what can Painkiller have done differently in that match? It seemed fairly even throughout the entirety of that match until those 2 turrets on that bottom portion came down in favor of Nautorious Nauts. What could Painkiller have done differently to kind of prevent that bottom turret? As you said, you pointed out the defending was very strong on both sides, especially on Painkiller in those 3v1 situations. So what could have gone differently to favor Painkiller in that match?
I think there were very few mistakes this match, and the one mistake that I think was to blame for the loss was when Wake went in versus the Nibs and actually got picked up by the Snare Nibs. If he had just pulled back and waited for his teammates, they would have gone in. A silence pulse could have set up a nice black hole, the dash, and they would have been on the retreat. And the turret was going down anyway. So I think if they had waited, been a bit more patient, they could have kept this match going and potentially have gotten that comeback. So just one misjudgment of distance cost them the whole game. And that's what happens in these close games. It's just one thing.
Exactly. That one small thing can lead to a turnaround and a victory for the other team. And we saw it here, Nautorious Nauts taking the victory in that first game. Before we go to our break, though, we are going to have a Twitch giveaway.
Ooh.
So be on the lookout for the chat box on the right or bottom, depending on what kind of screen layout you're running on Twitch. And one of the mods in the channel will be doing a Twitch giveaway, so just follow his instructions, and I believe you will be entered to win a Robo Scoop. That being said, we will be right back with our second match of the day.